then Tayla, what did you want then? The building was packed. What I wanted was for there to be a line out the door, at least wanting to get a glimpse or wanting to see a shoe or hair on his head. I really did not think that I was going to be as close as I was, as easy as I was. I thought, and people were saying it in the mosque, that, you know, had this been Chicago, had this been New York, had this been Philly, had this been Jersey, the line would have been around the corner. What's wrong with Boston? What's wrong with us? What's the problem? I don't get it. Even, listen, I can't tell you, just a little snippet. So I did some little Facebook living. I did some Twitter periscoping, just so people could get a glimpse, just a shoestring. And nobody cared. I think we got 75 views off of it. Minister Louis Farrakhan here in Boston, Massachusetts. And we didn't even give a damn. But his message was so strong and so powerful. It was a call to action that y'all need to wake up. But y'all didn't even come out to get woken up. So, you know, stay asleep. Stay asleep. I want to give a huge hug, a virtual hug, to all of the listeners that did come out that said, hey, Tayla. Hey, Tayla, how you doing? You know, I listen to you in the morning, right? So I just want to say thank you to you for coming out. Even if it wasn't for me, you came out for you. That's what it's supposed to be about. As far as news you should know, a mammoth find, literally, a Mexican drainage worker finds the remains of a 14,000-year-old 10-ton beast just 6 feet beneath a busy suburban road. That makes me think, like, what do you think we could find here in Grove Hall if we dig 6 feet? I don't know, maybe a burial ground of Native Americans? What about Roxbury? What do you think we'll find there? Does anybody ever wonder these things? Am I the only one that even remotely thinks about this? When they were digging at Malcolm X's house, and they found like pilgrim stuff. No one cares about the fact that, what is it, Seneca Falls in New York City is currently a black graveyard of former slaves. Graveyard, just a graveyard. It is now called Central Park. So when you walk along Central Park, you're walking on my ancestors. Thank you. Appreciate it. These are facts we don't know. These are things that we could care less about. These aren't the comfortable truths. I'm never, ever. Let me tell you something. I had a friend that posted something on Monday. It said, I'm not rude. I just tell the facts the way people aren't used to hearing them. Don't say nothing on Monday you can't handle on Friday. I'm going to always tell you the truth. I am always going to hurt your feelings. I am always and will continue to tell you the things that you don't want to hear. And if that's calling you out and telling you should have been at the damn mosque yesterday, tough love. You should have been there. There's no excuse why you should not have showed up. I don't care how many times do I say it. Even if it ends at 8 o'clock and you get there at 7:59, show up. Because 85% of the work is done when you just show up. Because the people that you're supposed to meet were still in that space, coming out, pouring out into the streets. You still could have got some word. No excuses, ever. Anyways, a mammoth find, Mexican drainage worker finds the remains of a 14,000-year-old 10-ton beast just 6 feet beneath the busy suburban road. This was in Mexican city of Toltepec. The recovery began in April. It's believed that the creature died when it became trapped in the mud. The placement of the bone suggests that it was cut up by humans after dying. The mammoth has been found across Mexico and North America. So with that being said, you probably have some remains in your backyard and didn't even know it. Congratulations. The new face of depression. I think I read this before. I just want to read it again. My beautiful black sisters, my beautiful black woman, the new face of depression is the strong black woman. There are countless myths and stigmas surrounding depression in the black community, particularly black women. Myths surrounding the strong black woman can create needless pain and confusion and can ultimately keep people from getting proper treatment. Strong Black women are supposed to, 1, have their own, 2, not depend on anyone else for anything, 3, be able to do for others and themselves without showing weakness. Well, guess what, baby? You need to snap out of it, because doctors are saying that this is not life. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not normal. Monica Coleman, PhD, said, in many ways, I do think there is a greater stigma among African American culture than among white cultures as far as mental health is concerned. Living in California, she says, many white people will freely reference seeing a therapist or seeing their shrink in normal conversations. Black people don't do that at all. Seeing a therapist is generally seen as a sign of weakness or a lack of faith, because we are ultimately, baby, just pray on it. We gonna pray, we gonna light some candles, everything gonna be all right, Jazzy. So aside from that, I'm working on a therapist actually coming in here and having a discussion with us to talk about this new face of depression, the strong Black woman. We definitely need some work on us, because we think just because we have a 401k, we have a couple thousand in the bank, that us being crazy is minimal. Like the fact that I think it's okay for me to rant, rave, yell, scream, show up at people's houses, like it's not normal for the things that you're doing. And mental health should be sought, and many of us don't. So you might have a girlfriend, it might be you. And a girlfriend, I mean a female friend. You might have a female friend that needs to go see somebody, that needs to discuss some of the problems, maybe surrounding, mothers and fathers and proper parental guidance that they lacked. Don't pretend like we don't have problems. We have flaws, baby. All of us. I want to give a huge shout out to Michelle Obama, First Lady. You know where she went this weekend? Dun, dun, dun. She went to Praia. The First Lady of the United States, who made a stop in Cape Verde yesterday. Michelle Obama is fulfilling a visit program to Liberia, Morocco, and Spain, and will make a technical stopover, or did make a technical stopover on the island of Sal, and where she remained for a few hours, and she visited with the Cape Verdean First Lady. And I am so happy that the president, First Lady, put CV on the map. Like I'm really excited. Nicki Minaj did it earlier last year. One day people are gonna wake up like, oh, a Cape Verdean, I know what that is, because I lived my whole life trying to explain to people. Never mind. I'm Portuguese. Just we'll leave it like that. We'll leave it right there. Hawaii becomes the first state to monitor gun owners through an FBI criminal database. Remember, I read the story about 2 weeks ago that alerts local police of any arrest. So Governor David Ige signed a bill allowing police to enroll gun owners in FBI database known as Rap Black. You heard it right. You heard it correct. I wish I could go back and play that Muhammad Ali. He was like, Mama, why Jesus always white? The angels are white, but it's a black cat, and you'll get black luck, and you black male. They lied too, Mama. Why I gotta be called Rap Black? Police are alerted if gun owners from Hawaii are arrested anywhere in the United States. The Senator Will Esparzo introduced the bill, expressed other states could follow. The governor also passed 2 other laws. One bar stalkers and those convicted of sexual assault from gun ownership. Another law requires those diagnosed with serious mental disorders to surrender their firearms. I told you. I was just waiting for the cherry on top. So I don't know if you guys remember, but a good year, Reggie, do you remember this when I said when it comes to gun ownership and when it comes to allowing gun owners to have firearms, it was a slippery slope to even include mental health, because then all of our children that are currently ADHD, all of our children that are currently depressed, manic depressive, are on all of these medications. It says serious mental disorder. What is a serious mental disorder? A serious mental disorder then slippery slopes itself into a mental disorder, and now every little black boy that was in the public school system that was on ADHD pills can no longer become a firearm holder. You cannot exercise your Second Amendment right because your mama put you on pills when you were a little boy. I told you that this was a slippery slope, and now here it is in 2016 in the state of Hawaii. It is now a law to require those diagnosed with serious mental disorders to surrender their firearms. What does that mean? So really quickly, let me just put this into context for you. Let's say, for instance, that you just lost your mama. Your mama just died. You just had a miscarriage. Your baby just died. Your wife just found out she's sick with cancer. You go ahead and seek this therapist, because now we're finding out that the face of America of psychiatric problems is the angry black woman. So you're like, let me go get some help, and you go get some help, and you say, like, I'm really depressed right now. My mom just died, just had a miscarriage. My cousin has cancer. Like, you're going through all these things. You need somebody to talk to. She's like, well, you know what? Let me just put you on these pills and calm you down so you can get back to work, so you're not in this rut. And all of a sudden, you have to surrender your firearms because you're going through life struggle trying to find some help. Do you see that? And that's a serious mental health issue. Depression? You don't think they're going to consider depression? Because what if you get depressed, you pull out your gun and start killing everybody? Nah, we're good. You don't need a firearm. Keep messing around with this slippery slope. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm not a prophet. I can just see things for what they are. The virtual eye that will let U.S. soldiers see around corners, the VR system, can create and reconstruct using 2 cameras. The system relies on NIVIDIA, Tesla K20 GPU to fuse images together. I don't even know what that means, baby. I don't know what that means. But what I know it means is that soldiers throw 2 cameras into an unsecure area to gather 3D images. The images are then sent to a laptop where software is created VR view and could be used by first responders and TV broadcasters. So I forgot what movie it is, but when they throw something in the room and then this little like probe pops up and scans the entire room. I think it was Mr. Incredible. Was it Mr. Incredible? It was Mr. Incredible. See? Hey. Cartoons did me good for something. Mr. Incredible had they were drone scanners where they would go into a room and they would scan everything and then, fly away. Essentially the same concept, right? I know somebody calling like, Tayla, how you making references to cartoon characters? I made a Jafar in an Aladdin reference over this weekend. So when we got off air on Friday, it was reported that Bernie Sanders conceded and went ahead and said that he's going to vote for Hillary. And, I felt like that was the biggest slap to the face. I felt like that was the biggest disrespect. I feel like I felt when I was a little kid watching Aladdin and Jafar became the Sultan. It's like, we don't have any more wishes. Like, what are we going to do with a genie at, though? And this is how I feel as an adult. I don't know how to express my feelings any other way, but as a child, I remember feeling so distraught when Jafar became the Sultan. Like, we have no other choices here. We just might as well quit. But then I found somebody. Talked about her about 2 weeks ago. I'm really excited. She is running for 2016. And while all of the press and all of the media will sit here and have you thinking that there are no other options, baby, we have options. Her name is Jill Stein. Jill Stein is, she believes power to the people. Jill Stein, 2016, I believe she's with the Green Party. My Power to the People plan creates a deep system change, moving from greed and exploitation of corporate capitalism to human-centered economy that puts people, plants, and peace over profit. That puts people, plants, and peace over profit. Jill Stein is an option. Jill Stein is an option. Jill Stein is an option. If you don't like Hillary, because I said never Hillary. I don't care. Barack Obama endorsed her. Elizabeth Warren endorsed her. All my heroes, all my greats. You know, I'll even go a step further. Ayanna Pressley endorsed her. Very own Sonia Chang Diaz endorsed her. I said never Hillary. I don't even like calling women dogs, but Hillary, to me, will be, has always been, when you sit here and defend a rapist that raped a 12-year-old girl and you knew he raped a 12-year-old girl, but yet you don't stand for nothing, so you'll fall for anything. Never Hillary. Ever Hillary. But yes to Jill Stein. Key points of power to the people plan. A Green New Deal, creating millions of jobs by transitioning to 100% clean, renewable energy by 2030, and investing in public transit, sustainable agriculture, and conservation. Jobs as a right, creating a living wage job for every American who needs work. Replacing unemployment offices with employment offices. Advance workers' rights to form unions, achieve workplace democracy, and keep a fair share of wealth that they create. Now, baby, come in. Get comfortable. Sit down. She wants to end poverty. Guarantee economic human rights, including access to food, water, housing, and utilities, with effective anti-poverty programs to ensure every American gets a life of dignity. Healthcare as a right. Establish an improved Medicare for all, single-payer public health insurance program to provide everyone with quality healthcare at huge savings. Education as a right. To abolish student debt, to free a generation of Americans from debt servitude. Guarantee tuition-free, world-class public education from preschool through university, and high-stakes testing and public school privatization. Listen, you want me to go down the list? If you don't know about Jill Stein, please go and do your due diligence. The media will have you thinking that we don't have any other option. That's a damn lie. Jill, 2016, she's presenting us with an option. Are we going to take it or are we going to leave it? Because I'm taking it. I'll be there. I'll be voting Jill Stein. All of my mentors, all of those that I look up to, all of those that I love and appreciate, and they went ahead and flip-flopped on me and just jumped on the Hillary bandwagon. I'm good. Gucci. And other news, really quickly, because we only have a few more moments. Tens of thousands gather for an anti-U.S. rally to celebrate North Korea's annual struggle against American imperialism. I love my country. I really, really love my country. I don't agree with the things that we've done in the past. I don't agree with the things that we're currently doing. I don't agree with the things that we think are okay. One of the things that Minister Farrakhan talked about yesterday is wrong being done and being believed, for us to believe that it's right. Like, how do you kill indigenous people and say, it's the right thing to do because we need to cut down the forest, they're in the way, we need the forest, we need the trees, so we just had to do what we had to do. That's what Nana said. But he talked about how we've switched our beliefs into believing that what's wrong is actually right. Again, Nana said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And we're falling as a people. My people perish for lack of knowledge, but some of y'all know better and still don't do better. So shout out to North Korea, the annual struggle against American imperialism. Aren't they a communist country? Korea's not a communist country. No.
North Korea.
North Korea. Well, North Korea is a communist country, right? Well, North Korea is the annual struggle against America. How are you struggling against American imperialism and you're a communist country feeling some type of way? That's like the bully, like, yo, why am I being bullied though? I don't know. Rapper 50 Cent is arrested in Satan Kids for cussing. I didn't even know it was illegal for you to cuss, though. The rapper was told not to use profanity on stage in St. Kitts, but the star went ahead and screamed MFer in front of 40,000 people. Okay, so really quickly, you guys know I'm a visual person, right? Do you remember in the Boondocks when he was like, hit him with the Hennessy, and they came out and took him away in cuffs? Do you remember that? The rapper that snitched on himself, the no snitching campaign, and then the rapper snitched on himself. Hit him with the Hennessy, and the cops just came and arrested him. That's all I see. What 50 said. He was like MFer, and they just take him away off stage. Y'all need to go back and watch that Boondocks. I'm gonna see if I can find Jules. Can you see if you can find that clip and post it on Twitter? Oh my gosh. Every episode?
Every episode of Boondocks.
You know what? I feel like a really horrible parent because that's something that my son really prides himself. He's like, I've been watching Boondocks since 2007. I'm like, I don't even think it was available in 2007, but Anari has watched every episode of Boondocks, but I make him go back and research what they actually talk about because as much as they joke, as much as they play, there's a lot of truth. Come, put it on your lip, baby.
They can't with that, boy.
Put it on your lip.
Don't put nothing on my lips.
We got Sabir Bay back in the building.
What's the name? Aaron McGruger.
Yes.
That's his name, Aaron McGruger. They came at him hard, man, because of what he was doing.
Who cares?
Yeah,
and he came out with Black Jesus then after that, right?
I was rocking with him, man. I'm like, I'm with you, Aaron. Shoot, man, that was the show. But the last episode, I don't think that was done by him. I know they did the last one, but it wasn't as good as the other.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was great.
I think they were supposed to come out with a whole season that he wasn't gonna have anything to do with.
I saw the last ones, man.
Yeah, I'm good.
I didn't watch.
You have 1 through 3 though.
Yeah, Molly Gold, man. They're hilarious. And then when Huey told the truth about what you call Reagan was the devil.
Reagan was the devil.
About 9/11. I said, oh man, those Europeans lost their minds, man.
And they were like, he's so articulate. Yeah.
I know.
He was just like, what's wrong with you people? I love Huey. Hey boo, good rising.
Yeah, another early morning. That's what I was like, man,
this is every day.
I would see the 3
Yeah,
o'clock.
no, it was 4 o'clock.
Cause we was literally.
Also, you took a nap.
We have stuff we was doing, even with Ethiopian community. Ethiopian community. I was like, man, I'm done. Next week we drive to Philly.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, right now you're getting ready to drive to Philly? So you go everywhere.
Yeah. I'm going home to go see my sons, and I'm going to visit Philly.
Oh yeah, the 20-year-old.
No, the 18-year-old.
The 18. I can't believe he got kids as old as him.
Yeah.
You and your kids stand side by side and like, oh, look at the brothers.
Pretty much.
Because that's what it looks like. Really quickly, Baltimore Police Union facing criticism for posting celebratory tweets in response to the officer's acquittal in the Freddy Gray case. Baltimore Fraternal Order Police posted 2 tweets in response to Officer Cesar Goodson Jr. being acquitted in the death of Freddy Gray. First tweet showed a meme of actor Leonardo DiCaprio toasting with a glass of champagne from the popular film The Great Gatsby. The text in the meme reads, "Here's to the Baltimore 6 defense team, the FOP and Detective Tayla." Second tweet was a photo of Baltimore State Attorney Marilyn Mosby with a caption that read, "The wolf that lurks." And you guys know Marilyn Mosby's no joke. No joke. She came out guns blazing. And I really thought this case was going to go differently. Yeah. So I really thought this case was going to go all the way differently. Unfortunately, it didn't. But, what happens in the dark comes in the light. And sometimes we have priests that molested little kids 35 years ago that are just now going to jail. So don't think for 5 seconds. Huh?
You saying you think you got something on her? They got something on her?
No, I'm just saying what happens in the dark comes to the light. So I'm waiting for somebody to go ahead. People get cancer all of a sudden. People, die in car accidents. Karma is that itch in the middle of your back that you can't reach. So I'm worried that this is acceptable and that there is nobody that has been found guilty or at least held responsible for the death of Freddy Gray.
Did you see? Did you? Last night, right? You know, I'm sitting there listening, looking at people in a room when we went to go see Minister Farrakhan. And I said, I don't think these people really are paying attention to what
he's saying.
Because he said a lot of stuff, and he talked about, you know, how we don't wish nothing on the gay people, but he said they got it coming too. Like, he was just basically saying, like you said, karma, like, yeah, the creator have something set up for that. And I'm sitting there listening to him, and he said about the lawyers, how it's set up. All of them,
the system,
all of them have their day coming. It's just a matter of when. You know what I mean?
He did say the liars. I mean the lawyers.
Exactly. You know, and I'm sitting there like, they're not paying attention to the minister. He's telling you something, and it's real. It's real talk, man. You know, even when I left, I had to leave early. When you asked me when I'm leaving, I left. I had to go meet with the Ethiopian community. That was dope yesterday. It was so great. 5 hours. I mean, 5 hours of us just talking, and they're giving me their testimony of when they got here and how they was treated by African Americans. And one sister said she came in 75, and she was talking about how and I quoted a lot of stuff that Farrakhan said yesterday too. I was talking to them about the meeting, and she said that if the African Americans don't wake up, they're going to be left alone by themselves. The Ethiopian sister said. I was like, I knew what she was talking about, because they always try to separate themselves. And when she was telling me when she got here how she felt and was treated by so-called African American, by the time we got them by the time we left that meeting, they weren't saying African American and black no more. It was funny, because we was building about the history about who we are, and also about us being Moors. And I didn't hit them that hard with that, but I was going into history, and then I brought it to them at the end of it, and I asked them, the only people here that don't have a nationality is so-called Black Americans. Yeah, and it's by design, you know. And this is why people look at us. And I was telling them how we felt against them and how they felt against us. So we were going back and forth about, you know, how we are treated. And they was telling us that how radio was censored over there, like certain stuff will be censored over there, certain stuff will be censored over here. So we going back and forth, and I said, yeah, they only show y'all about us rioting over there and saying, look at these crazy black people. It's you know what I mean? It was vice versa. So it was a good dialogue. And one thing, another one said is that Black Americans should hold their vote until they make them give real African history. This was not what was given to them. She said, real African history. And I was saying, she's right. Because what we think is real, it's like what we think is African history.
Come closer to the mic.
What we think is African history in these colleges are not. It's like that's what was given to them. It's really based on your history started in slavery. And that's what it was. And it didn't start on slavery. You know, so as we're dialoguing, they sharing stuff with me, and I'm like, okay. And one of the brothers was like, well, how do we get the people that's in the college? You know, how do we get the people in the college to understand what you're talking about? You know, I mean, I said, well, we need to have debates like Malcolm had back in the day. You know, we go through Harvard University, it's right down the street. You know, I'm like, we're talking, you know, but just to have that dialogue. And one of the elders came up and shook my hand and said, this is the first time something like this really happened. And I want to thank you for coming and sitting with us. You know, so it's the same thing with us, with our people from Cape Verde, from Haiti, and all. We need to start having these type of dialogues. And like the elder said, I didn't even think about it. When she said, you know what, we need to hold our votes and don't vote for nobody, none of them, until they teach real history.
And Minister Louis Farrakhan touched on this yesterday about having the you know, coming from a white supremacist foundation, like all of our history. And that this is why you hate yourself. This is why you don't love yourself. This is why we're out here shooting and killing and hating each other, because we come from this ideology starting from kindergarten that we're not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's being taught to us. Even, you know, again, me personally, I always say this every time. I don't rock with white supremacy. I don't use that word. You know, I would say inferiority. Okay. That's what I would use, because to be supreme, it means that you know, if you're a god and we claim to be gods, we are the supreme. And I said it yesterday. I said they are the minority, and we are the minority. They are the majority. It's more darker people globally than you have so-called white. You know, so I don't use that term supremacy at all, because I think people mock what they hear a lot. You know, and you keep hearing white supremacy. I say, what define what white supremacy means? First, let's define the word white. Period. Let's start with that. Then let's start with supreme.
Let's do it. Come on.
So white has nothing to do with the complexion of a person. It is a status. And there actually was a guy from Egypt that was here in 77. You can Google him. He wanted to be classified as being black, but they said, no, you're white. There also was a Chinese little girl who was classified as being white. Anyone who comes into this country or this land, I don't like to say country, but this land has to be classified as white, but it's not a complexion. It's a status thing, stating that you are basically, you're free. So as I'm talking with the Ethiopians yesterday, they gave me one word was called badia, and there was another word, I forgot the other word, but Blaine is in the room, but it was another word. But one badia means slave in Ethiopian. And I was like, oh, snap. Okay. So it means that you were black in one spot, black or brown, but you was a slave. So we having this dialogue. And again, the one thing that we don't study is language. That is the key to everything. Understand the language. So when I hear people throw out the word, say, brother, you know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean. What you mean white supremacy? Because you agree with, define what you mean. So they're looking at it as a complexion. So when people come here, they don't look at complexion. That's not what they look at until they get to the States. Then they start saying that. But one thing they do recognize is that black is related to slavery. That's how they look at it. That's why they don't want to be called black. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody is necessarily black.
So as far as status is concerned, wouldn't Ethiopians be considered quote unquote white because they were free? Like they've never.
But that would be. But that's true. But they themselves don't look at, you know, that one gave me the history of Eritrea, and I was like blown away about the Italians and the history. So, but they went through.
There was once Ethiopia, and then they annexed them. It was
all of us Ethiopia, all the way to Saudi Arabia was Ethiopia. All of that is always Ethiopia. You know, and as I'm sitting with them, and they're telling me about our people here, because again, the history in school. John Henry Clark said, "A man don't treat you right, ain't gonna teach you right." So you're now in their university, and that's why the conversation, how the brother was like, well, how do you deal with people that's in the colleges? Because that's where they breeding them at right there. They breeding them right in the college. I was just in a store talking to a Cape Verdean downtown, and I was like, she said, well, where you from? Like, they always ask me where I'm from when I'm saying I know where you from. You know, then they start asking me where I'm from, and we'll start dialoguing and start talking. We don't have those type of conversations because majority of these people who are speaking don't even know themselves who they are. If you know who you are, you would never say you are African American or black. I asked this question yesterday. I said, do Europeans say I'm a European American? No, they don't. So why are you an African American? You know, and I remember KRS-One had a song called Rise and Shine with Chuck D, Mo D, him. And then through the song, he says, no slave ship come from Africa. He go through this whole spill. He said, in America. He said, you don't say European American, so why say Afro-American? Like KRS went into this whole spill. And I was like, did people pay attention to what he just said in that song? No, they didn't. He said it, they don't say that, so why are you saying that? So why are we repeating that when that's not even a nationality? The dialogue again. We don't talk.
I'm glad you brought that up. We're having a conversation with the indigenous community, the Aboriginal community on Wednesday. And from what I'm beginning to understand, you know, African American, you're right, that there's no connection there. Who are you connected to? Where are you? Who are you? African American.
Displaced people.
And from what I'm understanding is the fact that claiming African American claims that you are a displaced person, and we had the ward to you. You are the ward of the state. So thank you. We appreciate you. And you know, having no claim, having no country to claim, many of us don't even know it, but we're original Americans.
We are it's a dictionary in 1929 1928, 1929, unabridged dictionary. And when you read it, they took it out. Unabridged means it's not abridged. It means that the stuff is there. So abridged means they took things out of it, of the dictionaries. So most of them you may find in 2 volumes, some of them you may find in 1 volume, but unabridged.
And what year was this?
1929.
And it was a dictionary. Can you?
Unabridged dictionary of the deaf. You could probably Google it now.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's on Google now.
So unabridged dictionary, 1929.
Yeah.
See if you can find that, Jules.
If you punch up the definition of America, it would tell you it's the Aboriginal or copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the European. That is the application of the name. It didn't say country.
Say that again.
It says the Aboriginal or copper-colored natives. We are the copper-colored natives that was found on the continent by the Europeans. It didn't say country. Again, that's another term. We say country. This is not a country. This is a continent. North America is a continent, not a country. You see what I'm saying? So again, we're repeating things like the white supremacy. Well, define what you're talking about. Now we would say, well, brother, you know what I'm saying. You know, no, I don't, because everybody else follows suit. That's on them. I know the difference. I know they're not Native Americans. I'm the Aboriginal or copper colored. Even here, the people they classified as Ethiopians that was on this land. The Atlantic Ocean was called the Ethiopic Ocean, or the Ethiopian Ocean. Recorded before, it was called the Atlantic Ocean. All this history is documented. And one of the brothers that was sitting next to me, he said, "You know where the Asians and the Africans go study at?" He said, "Over in Europe, in Cambridge." That's what he said, because all the information is there. And I'm sitting there, and I had a book called West African Portuguese and West Africans from 1400 to 1600. That time frame, right? At that time frame, we was not calling ourselves Black or African Americans at that time frame. So people don't know the history.
What were we calling ourselves?
Moors or Ethiopians before that time frame. We were not calling ourselves Black people. They are modern English terms. They're English terms. They're not who we were. It speaks about Cape Verde and everything in there. But this is in Cambridge, in the UK. But we don't read that kind of books. And the book is like, I think it's on sale for $72. They won't only spend $72 for it.
Hey, I just spent $450 on a bottle in the club, though.
That's right. But see, and you want to know why we way we are? It's because of that. All this I discussed Saturday, and I discussed that with the Ethiopians. Even if one studies the Dred Scott case, which we don't study at all, the case is about this thick. And when you read the case itself, the case is going to tell you the Africans that was imported into this country and sold as slaves could not be citizens. Stop. Now, as a critical thinker, you're going to say, what did they mean by back then, the country? Was it called countries back then at that time frame? No. What were they talking about? They was bringing you from what country? They said those Africans that was imported into the country could not be citizens. So now by your like consenting, saying I'm a descendant of Africa, they said, okay, you can't be a citizen.
You giving up your rights before you even if you were an original person on the continent of North America.
You gotta understand manipulation of how they play the game. So now we're saying I'm a descendant of Africa. So they say, okay, go ahead, you said it. Law is based on your consent. You said it. And you wrote it down, and you wrote it down on a piece of paper. And when you write something down in contract law, it's binding. And people understand that. If I sit in a chair, that's a contract. One is called implied and one is called express. So if you write it, now you automatically say, okay, that's what you are. We're going to hold you to that. Boom. You can't come back 5 years later and say something different. That's how it is. But we're not being taught that. So when the brother said to me yesterday about what about the ones that's in college, I said, well, get me to the college and watch what happened. You see what I'm saying? Let's go in there with them, the ones that they're breeding in there, and let's have a conversation with them on why they doing this. Because when you go into law school, the first thing you study is language. The first thing you study is language. So when people throw out words and say, oh, native, oh, white supremacy, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to dissect that word. And that's why Malcolm was good as he was, because he understood good diction. He knew where language was. So they could never get him on the language. He was very versed in it. So once you understand the language, you're good. And one of the cases that they study is that Dred Scott case. It's one of the landmark cases. Then you have somebody who would say, well, this case was overturned. No, it was never overturned by the 14th Amendment. But this is what they tell black people. So again, when you study history and study the laws, I heard Minister Farrakhan speaking about the natives yesterday. I'm sitting there like, they're not, it was us. I did see us up there. But if I saw some Hollywood Indians, then I would have had a problem with it, because they are called $5 Indians. They're not the real Indians. You are the copper-colored native that was found on the continent. And I laugh at everything they're going, like, I'm listening to the Osley Brothers one day, right? And I'm sitting here, I said, how many people heard what the Osley Brothers said, Voyage to Atlantis? What was they talking about? You ever hear the song, Voyage to Atlantis? I will always come back to you. What was he trying to tell you? That Atlantis was back on the rise again, coming back up? It's there. It's sitting there. But what happens, all the songs back then had a message in it. Like the OJs had a message in the music, or the or Earth, Wind, and Fire, the elements. There's 4 elements we built up off of. That's fire, earth, air, and water. There's only one element that's missing. But we don't catch that because they killed all of it. They killed it. They stopped it. And this is why we must get the people to read. When the elder was talking to me yesterday, he said, how do we get the youth to read? You see what I'm saying? How do we get them to read? I said, well, use hip hop. Use hip hop to do it. That's one way, because hip hop influences everybody.
I can't tell you. I actually remember being in 7th grade, and this is pre-internet. Download the lyrics, print out the lyrics. Actually listening to the song, writing down the words I didn't know or understand, and then going to the dictionary. And because I thought I was a battle rapper back in my day. Back in the day, I thought I was a rapper. Didn't work out too well for me. But
you still can do it. I mean, nowadays you can do anything. My mother used to say, "Mother effer, mother effer, mother effer." I could do a song. Anybody can do it now. It's auto tunes.
So that's how. And I think you're absolutely right. Taking it to hip hop and letting that's because that's what they know. That's what they listen to. That's their whole life. Everybody want to be a rapper. Everybody want to be a video vixen.
But it's funny. KRS One has a song called "So You Want to Be a Rapper." And he goes through this whole spiel, and he asks them questions. Like I was at Dilla's Youth Dilla's Day one time. They brought me to Detroit, and when I was speaking to the youth, and I don't know how a lot of hip hop artists knows this either, but I had put the youth in a circle, right? And I asked them what was the circle, and they was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I said, the circle is the cipher, right? So I'm giving them the history. So I put them in that circle for a reason. And I said, this is a cipher. I am the MC that's in the middle of the cipher. So what I want to do is to show them where hip hop come from. And I was like, if you can look it up online for yourself, it's come from a Senegal tribe. It's called the Wolof tribe. The Wolof is in West Africa. And when you look up the Wolof tribe from Senegal, the word Wolof, or it means hippie or hip. It means to open one's eyes. It's a Wolof language. Hip is a Wolof language, means to open one's eyes. So when you open your eyes, you do what? And hop is a German word. So you take the hip and the hop. So when you hip to it, you hop out on it. So when you teach the youth there, they'll say, oh, it's yours again. It goes right back to you again. And what we used to do is teach in a circle. And you have the master of ceremony was in a circle of it. So when you're looking up this history, I can take you from our culture to the religion. And the word church is circle, is a German word. It's not what people think it is. Church is German. God is German. So once you put the hip and the hop together, when you hip to something, now you hop out on it. That's what it is. So it's Africa again. It's going right back to us.
And we don't even know.
No, but it's not being taught that way. It's purposely by design.
Actually, in the film, Out of Darkness, one of the points that I absolutely loved is when they talked about back in the 80s, when, dudes were cutting their hair and growing their hair a certain way, and we were taking it back to Africa and weren't even aware of it. Like certain haircuts, certain hairstyles, certain names.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was unaware of is like the K's, like Kanisha, and some of these names that we have today that are quote unquote ghetto are really indigenous names in Africa, that if you go and tell them your name is Wakwanisha, You might have some ancestors over here. We had an Aquanisha right here too. Look at that statue. That's Aquanisha. Like, we're over here calling them ghetto names, but they actually have a basis somewhere. And in the Out of Darkness film, you talk about, the memory of the DNA.
Yes, that's why we wear mohawks. That's why, people rock certain, like locks is a natural thing. This is not a bad thing.
Can you clarify dreadlocks? Because
dreadlocks
a lot of
that they dreaded to see us with this, because this is actually was Medusa. Remember Medusa?
I know.
They made the snakes. That's all this really was, because they dreaded to see us with this. They can't get hair like this. Their hair can't grow like this. They can't wash their hair. It's matted. It's totally different. But they did not like our hair being that way. This is we can just naturally grow our hair like this. Everything is already in our DNA. It's even with brothers, and I don't agree with guys wearing their pants to their knees. I don't rock with that. But if you sag it a little bit, I would tell people, if the one who condemns is the one who loses. So if you want to actually create, I said, why don't you create a pair of underwear with pants connected to it before somebody else do it? But the Europeans now is charging people for felonies. I think it's in Georgia somewhere. If you have your pants sag, yeah, they're going to make money off of you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So why don't you create a pair of pants with underwear connected to it to make money? So if you look at what is happening, so they criminalize everything. Back in the day when cats was wearing high waters, I thought that was crazy. So they'll say, oh, well, he's showing the crack of his behind. Well, why don't you stop condemning him, and why don't you sit with him and say, let me show you how to make some money. Let's make some underwear with pants connected to it. Somebody's going to do it eventually, and it might be a Chinese person. Who knows?
You're giving somebody ideas right now. They need to jump on that.
Motivation Monday, right? So
Absolutely.
We're going to motivate. Maybe my young girl might go home and start sewing. I don't know. Motivational Monday.
I want to give a huge shout out to the listeners. Wake up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Shout out to our sponsors, GC Boston. Half price sushi on the weekends from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. 801 Mass Ave, directly across the street from Boston Medical Center. Don't forget $1 oysters for the first dozen, a 3-mile radius of free delivery from Boston Medical Center, and $10 bento boxes for lunch. Again, free parking, free delivery, great martinis. What else? What else do you need? Faith's Natural. So Faith has a whole new summer line. I just used a product last night. Faith, I don't know what you are cooking up in the kitchen, but I am in love. So she has this new salt, oil, and soap scrub. I don't know what it is. It's a layer of pink in the middle of it with some zestfully everything all over it. And it smells amazing. It feels amazing. I didn't even have to put lotion on afterwards. And my skin is oh so smooth. You have to get Faith's new summer line. She has this wonderful shampoo and conditioner. I no longer have to go to the store to buy shampoo, conditioner, lotion, smell goods, oils, nothing. Everything now is Faith's Natural. How long it took, Reggie? 4 or 5 months? Yeah, to convert to everything. Leave me alone, Reggie. Leave me alone. It took me some months, but I am fully converted. I no longer have to go outside of my community to buy my beauty products. I would love for Faith to be a stay-at-home mom, making products all day and night. So please give her a call or go to her website, Faith with an S, natural with an S, beauty.com, and make sure you get those David Bannon tickets July 23rd. I want you to grab them. They're currently $25. The price will increase, so grab them now before the price gets higher. We have Sabir Bay in the building, Motivational Monday, just talking a little bit about everything this rising. So one of the things that I got a message this weekend about, your guest on Friday, how does he know this and how does he know that? And one of the things you mentioned, that people are listening, people paying attention, is that you didn't finish high school. You dropped out in the 11th grade.
I'm along with Malcolm and Elijah. Shoot, I'm happy. Shoot. Malcolm left in the 8th grade. Elijah's in 3rd grade. So I'm in good hands. A lot of people didn't finish, but that's not education that's there. People don't realize that. That's not education. That's indoctrination. So when Malcolm went to Harvard, like they said, he made the guy feel like he was never born, with Minister Farrakhan said, because he said he was sitting in the room. So when you have a teacher, like Elijah Muhammad, how could you lose? Really, let's think about it. Look at the people that he grown, and how did he know this information? See what I'm saying? How? If we know that we are the mothers and fathers of civilizations, of doctors and lawyers and these, how don't you know? You just said it earlier. It's in your DNA. But what school does is make it complicated for you, and it's simple. I had a brother that was went to Texas universities probably like 8 years ago in Philadelphia when I was still living in Philly. He went to Texas. I forgot what college it was. He called me up. He said, "Man, I wish you was in my law class, man. This is crazy. Like, I know you were going there with the professor, but the stuff you were telling me, I'm seeing it." But they make it seem like law school is hard. It is very easy, but it has to be in you. It may not be for everybody. So it could be hard if it's not for you, but you can make something very simple. Like Malcolm said, make it plain. You know, make it plain so people can understand it. What they do is talk over your heads. So now it sounds like that. I don't want that much. You know, I was joking yesterday about you can leave a library door open all day long and a naked girl will walk past the door and you be like, "Nah, I don't want to go in that mall. It's too, it's too much greedy." So that's what I'm talking about. I remember even speaking with Karis one time when his mother told him that his freedom is beyond those doors right there. There was a library door. He said directly where he was sleeping at outside, and his mother took him in front of a library and said, "Your freedom is right there in those doors." But we don't go in there. We don't read. I always read. Rather, I used to fall asleep in school. That's how I was. I would literally go to sleep.
So what about parents that have children that are like you, that have absolutely no desire to be indoctrinated, have no desire to attend school? They are the rebels without a cause. They're always having trouble in school, but they're bright individuals. They're smart. And we have a lot of moms that are like, "He's so smart. I don't know what to do with him. The school doesn't know what to do with him." They went ahead and put him on IEP, put him on pills.
Like that Cat Williams said, "Really?"
Yeah.
Really?
What you want to do? Run?
Really?
What you think about running?
Yeah, but like again, I watch other coaches, and this is what I was talking to the Ethiopians about. Like I said, the coaches may be different, but we are the same people. Like I gave them an example saying I'm from Philly, but I moved to LA. When I went to LA, I said what up to this dude. He jumped off the wall and came like to come at me, and I said, "No, bro, what up means what's up, like peace." That's a cultural difference, but we the same people. So when I was there yesterday, they have a school that's down. I think it's like a school or something that's downstairs for the children. We need to start having that set up. You don't have to have a big building. University wasn't started in a big building the way they say it was. It was started in rooms. And then from that point on, they started growing and getting memberships, and it grew just like that. So we're looking at something that we need big. You don't need anything big. Start with something small and start with the youth. Because send them to our house. One of the elders said, "Well, how can we get these books?" This is what one of them said. He said, "How can we get the books?" I said, "Well, I did a commercial that's getting ready to go on Long Beach TV show that I literally had, stacks of books that I was telling people to get, and every time they was bringing more books downstairs, and I'm sitting there with stacks of books around me to read. From law dictionaries to metaphysics to, you name it, those books were there, and I said, I'm giving it to y'all now. Here you go. That's up to y'all to read it."
Can you give us a book list now? Can you give us?
I'm trying to think the top of my head. 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro by J.A. Rogers. What's the other one? Ancient and Modern Brits by David McRitchie, written in 1884. Our history is all up in there. 1884, this book was written, and the story.
These aren't books you're gonna find.
You won't find them online. Believe that. You're gonna find these books online.
No, but you're not gonna find. These aren't books that, as a college student, these aren't books that you're gonna read.
Depending on what college you go to.
So maybe a historically black.
No, you're not gonna find them in there. They're not gonna. There's no such thing as a black college. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as that. They don't. What they teach in a black college is slavery, basically. That's what they teach in there. They're not going to teach you that what we were before slavery, because our history did not start in slavery. But that book I just mentioned, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro, came in 1920. Then you had Nature Knows No Color Line by J.E. Rogers that came in 1950. The book Ancient and Modern Brits came in 1884. You have The First Americans Were Indians by David Imhotep. You have all these books that's out here, but we don't see ourselves in them because we're looking for slavery again. See what I'm saying? We're not looking for ourselves in there. We're looking for slavery. And one of the books that I love is by David McRitchie, who wrote Ancient and Modern Brits. And I tell everybody to get that book. That book is
Ancient and Modern Brits.
Now, let me tell you the storyline behind it. In the book, William Penn talks about the black tinklers, that they was black as gypsies in the book. And they said William Penn styled the settlers in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania means Penn's wood. That's all it means. That's what Pennsylvania means. It was wooded. So in 1681, he said they looked at the people that was there was the black tinklers. That's what they were called. In England, they called us. They said we would remember as Indians and Moors in England. Now, this book was written in 1884. Remember again, all the language that we speak is basically Gaelic. It's Irish. It's an Irish language, like Macduff, McDouglas, McDouglases. They're all Moorish titles, but we are the original Irish people, the Twa people that was in Ireland, the little short people, like the leprechaun.
The Twa people, those were what the Tasmanian Devil was based on. Yeah,
that's us. They made an airline after that, TWA, right in front of your face, and we don't even get it. That's the Twa, and it's right there. But if you don't read the books, you wouldn't understand history. This book is about this thick, but I usually have my book with me. But I had this book over probably 15 years, and I had it probably 3 or 4.
How do we start as parents? How do we start as our child's first educator to go ahead and invest in them? Like, I know nothing. Like, let's be honest. I know nothing. My husband knows nothing. My eldest child, I failed my eldest child, but I have little ones, and I want to do right by them. But me and my husband know nothing at all. So how do I even begin to teach my child the true history, the true knowledge of self, when I don't even know self?
First of all, let me tell you this. They keep us busy. If you ever read Rex 84, the King Alfred's Plan, in there, it talks about keeping the people busy. Busy, busy, busy. So don't think back on they say think back on the farm with the other animals. They have to constantly keep you busy. But when my son was 3 or 4, I had my son reading a dictionary at 3 or 4 years old, an unabridged dictionary, to understand what a preposition is, a denotation is, a connotation is, understanding how you read words at 3 or 4 years old. By the time he was probably 5, he used to say, "This is my book." He knew the book. You see what I'm saying? That's step number 1, because we were taught this in school, but we never was taught how to read a dictionary. We just said, okay, the definition is this. That's how we, definite. No, you got to go and find the OE or the GR and find out, okay, what do they mean by
all those letters and squiggly lines I didn't understand?
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about?
When you see like a word slave, you may just stop and say, okay, it was these people. But when you read on and you see in parentheses SLV, you have to look up SLV. So when you look up SLV, you will see that it's Scandinavians and such. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Slavic people. Exactly. It's just going to walk you through it. So what we do is just look at slave and say, okay, it was slave, but we have to read everything that's in there. That's number 1. And I tell people the thinnest book to get to have any child to read is 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. That's a very easy read book. It's very thin. Everybody should have it in their household. When I go to Chi-Town, I buy probably 10 of them just to have them when I'm on the road.
And you can
Google it. Actually, I think it might be on my app for free. The Severe Base Show app, I think, is up there for free. You can probably download it. It's free.
Juice, can we tweet that?
But the information is here. But the book that I tell people also to get, there's a lot of history is in it, is Ancient and Modern Brits. It talks about where the term blackmail come from. We thinking, I don't even know if nobody know where that come from. I think it fell out the sky.
Muhammad Ali said, "Man, why they call it blackmail? White males lie too."
No, it was blackmails when you blackmail someone. Blackmails when they used to pay the black Huns. The Europeans were paying us. That's where that term came from. They were paying us.
Pay that black man?
Yes, the black Huns. It was us. That was these people. The Danes, the Picts, all these people were us. This is where your Danishes come from. The Picts was us. When you read the history, you'll understand. When we go back again, they're not going to teach us what they call the HBCUs. That's not what they're going to teach you. But you can find it and see it. And also, there's a storyline between Popeye and Brutus. People don't understand the storyline, or Dodi Lafayette and Princess Diana. Now we're getting back into DNA. We're getting back into mixing with people. They don't mix.
Break
with
that
other
down.
people.
What do you mean, Popeye? He used to eat
when-
spinach, though, right?
Okay, and yeah, that's exactly. What do we do? Corella, spirulina, energy. That's it. But when you look at Indian people, they don't let you amalgamate. Even with Ethiopians, they say don't marry outside the culture. What do? You mess up the bloodline. You follow me? Even though we are the same people. You see what I'm saying? Remember the movie with Denzel Washington and Eva Longoria, what's his name? And they would call it, they made a big thing about it was interracial relationship between them two, and it wasn't.
It was a
What's on Fire or something like that? It was a movie with something where he was a cop.
Yeah. And they were
she was the cop, and she was a cop, and they was talking about they didn't like it because it was interracial relationships. But it's not.
They were in like Miami or something like that.
Exactly, but he was in Florida. It was Florida, yeah. So you have Latinos that is dark as Denzel Washington. So how you want to say that's interracial? What are they saying when they say that? You see what I'm saying? But
because they check the status white.
But exactly. But what happens is that we don't understand that. But you have Latinos that's dark as Denzel, but they were calling it interracial, and they didn't like it. But if a person that's ignorant, which means not knowing, you would think that that is true. So now the storyline behind Popeye and Brutus, when you look at Popeye, he was the Englishman. Brutus was us. The original Brits were us. We don't study history. The original Brits were us. When you go into, because they weren't that. Europeans was called Anglo-Saxons. They weren't called white people. When you study the Anglo-Saxons and what happened, because we always fought with each other, even over there. We were always fighting with each other. So what happens? When the Europeans see two people fight, what are you going to do? We're going to give you guns to fight against this one. So
they doing that now.
What I'm sure, this is the history. This is how they did it, and they still doing it to this day. So when we were fighting one another over there, they said, okay, we can take sides with this one right here. Popeye was the Englishman. The storyline was Popeye, the English settlement. Olive was you, the woman. Our complexion is olive, not black. It's natural. When I go to Ripley's, believe it or not, I laugh at the poster, and I say people walk past this poster every day, right? Olive is there, right, with the pieces on her neck. That's a African's weird. I forgot what they call it around their neck.
Yeah.
I think of a synagogue or one of the African countries, and I'm looking at the poster board on Ripley's on Hollywood Boulevard. I said, they don't even see that. That's you. Olive is a natural hue. So Popeye and Brutus was fighting over the women in there. Brutus always had a hue complexion. Go look at the cartoon. Go look at the black and white. You can always see him with a hue complexion.
You know what? In this whole time, I was rooting on for Popeye.
Because they had to do that. Same way with Jesus. So that's why everybody got Jesus white inside their house.
Who, Caesar? Portia?
No, I don't know. It looked like Johnny in the kitchen at one of these restaurants. I don't know. But when you look at the storyline, so they were always fighting over the woman. Why? Because whoever impregnates the woman inherits the land. That's how it go. They did it with Montezuma. They did it with the indigenous people that was here. They doing it now in Ethiopia. They got Chinese people going over there now, amalgamating with the sisters that's over there and separating them from the rest of the people. See what I'm saying? And it's still going on to this day. But we don't see that. It's okay. It's fine. You see, but the same people. It's the same thing with the marriage thing. All this plays a part. And again, if people did not listen to what Minister Farrakhan was saying, I'm sitting like, y'all are very unconscious to what's going on right now. When you look at history in itself, to get married here, you did not need a marriage license for the two people of the same race to get married. It's called, the word is called miscegenation. Look that word up. Miscegenation. which means two different races marrying one another. So they weren't going to allow the two races to get married. It was up to them, and then they have to pay a fee to get married. For two people to get married did not need a marriage license. You get a marriage certificate, which was totally different. They already upon it. And what hit me as I'm sitting there yesterday, the sister is telling me from Ethiopia, she said, "Oh, immigration, Europeans just copy everything, right?" This is what she telling me yesterday. I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Oh, we had immigrants." Boom. I said, "Wait a minute, hold up." So now we talk about immigrants over here, but immigrants been coming through Ethiopia. You see what I'm saying? We don't even get it. This is how bad we've been bamboozled. That's why Malcolm said, you ain't got to look at our people and tell we was knocked in our heads. We've been knocked in our head and knocked unconscious. We don't even see it. That's what Minister Farrakhan was saying about the enemy. You don't even know who the enemy is. But you don't have to. You don't have to call him a devil. You don't have to say a devil. They know who they are. They know their nature. They know exactly who their nature is. But you don't get it because now I'm going to take you from 12 years of brainwashing camp in my school and to give you 6 more years of brainwashing camp in college, and you're going to repeat exactly what I told you when you get out of there. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. If I know you, if I taught you, I know how much money you're going to make. I know what you're going to think. I know how you're going to react. A predictable person can always be controlled. An unpredictable person can never be controlled because you never know what that person is thinking. And that's how it is. We're predictable. That's why I said when people talk, I know exactly. When I do lectures, I know who's going to say what, and I'm going to say it before you ask that question. But people wouldn't get it because I'm going to say it, and I'm going to speak directly to you because I'm feeling you already. I feel that energy when I walk in the room. So, okay, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him too because he is feeling.
You know what questions I'm going to ask?
Nah, not right now.
Have you in the past?
Yes. Because it's typical. Most of the stuff is typical with people. They're going to, like I just said about the white supremacy, I could tell who's going to talk about that. Emotional people. Emotional people. That's not going to do anything. Nothing. One sister asked me, she said, "Bear, well, do you fear for your life because of what you said?" I said, "Why? You say white supremacy, that's the safe part? Like, is that safe?" So it's cool if I would just say white supremacy. You follow me? But if I'm telling you really what's going on, then you want to ask me, am I cool? I'm good every day. I don't worry about nothing. I'm straight. I can lead a day tomorrow. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm comfortable with myself if I go to day tomorrow. I did work. If my mission is done, then my mission is done. And that's how I look at it. And that's what Muhammad Ali was saying, is being already prepared to get ready to leave here. Are you preparing to leave? But what did you do when you were here? And that's a saying inside Islam. What did you do when you were here? And that's what Farrakhan was saying yesterday. People wasn't paying attention to what he was talking about. Yeah. They really weren't paying attention. He was saying everything, but you like, okay, the minister's here. Yeah, that's all. The minister's here. I'm in the room with the minister. That's all they cared about. But did you really pay attention to what he was saying?
It was a call to action.
Exactly. And that's why I said, yo, I had to leave. That's when you see me. I said, I got to go. I have a previous engagement. I got to be there at 1 o'clock. I had to come here because I was in the Ethiopian church that morning. And I went to the mosque. And then I went directly back over to the school because I had to sit with them. And I'm glad I really did because I was tired. I was like, I really don't want to go. I'm tired. I'm feeling the minister. He's talking. But when I got there, I was like, okay, cool. Then one of the Ethiopians got up and said, thank you for coming here because this never happened before. So I'm glad I did go because there was stuff that needed to be cleared up. That's the call to action. You see what I'm saying? Let's go out and talk with the people. Let's build, not keep pointing fingers at them. Because that's all. This European ain't worried about you talking about that. He ain't worried about you talking about white supremacy. He don't care about that. He probably clapping. They probably sitting in the room smoking cigars laughing. Yeah, they talking white supremacy. Oh, well. Don't worry about none of that. Don't care about that stuff. Talk about some real issues and then see really how they react. I'm not moved by that kind of stuff. So I say that people stop using it and deal with inferiority. If that's the case, you inferior to them. I'm not. You mentioned something early today, and I want to share with your audience. You said something about the FOP, right? The FOP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna show you how this European knows who you are. I had a discussion the other day about passports and how passports didn't come around until like the 1930s or 40s or something like that. That's something new, right? Just like marriage license, right? So in Philadelphia, what is the symbol of the FOP? I'm gonna show you how crazy this is. What is their symbol of the FOP? Google it. The symbol of the FOP, and I'm gonna show you how crazy this is. Since you think they don't know who we are. Now remember, I'm gonna give you some history. Noble Drali came in 1913, and he passed in 1929. I'm gonna show you something. So when you pull his symbol up, and I want y'all listeners to go Google it too.
So, what are we Googling? For those that aren't driving, if you're driving,
you don't
do it
drive.
at a later date.
Like,
if you're currently on Facebook or if you're currently on YouTube Live, what are we Googling?
the FOP symbol.
FOP symbol. So just look up FOP and then hit on images for those that aren't Google savvy.
You found it?
Did you find it, Jules?
Oh, you got slow data? You got Sprint?
Metro PCS?
You got Metro PCS? You can show it to her. I know what it looked like.
You know what it looked like.
I don't have to see it. I know what it looked like. What is on it?
This is...
Just give me the symbols.
It's a star in a circle, and it looks like...
Do you have a hand on it? Like this?
No.
Yes, it does.
Where's the hand?
Oh my gosh! Stop.
Where's the hand? Don't beat me.
I'm not gonna beat you. Look at that star. Look around that whole star. Look at in between. Look at.
Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. Hold on. Let me get a non-grainy photo. Here it is. Okay, so that now I see hands.
Does it look like this?
Yes.
You think they don't know who you are? The star in the eye and the hand. They know exactly what's going on.
This is...
They know exactly what's going on. It's not a secret. It's just a secret from so-called black people because they don't know.
This looks like your dollar. This looks like a Mason.
Look, your nationality card. This is a nationality card. That's
Can you show that? Can you hold that up? So if you guys are currently listening on your radio, head over to Facebook Live at a later date. If you're not on Facebook, that's fine. We're also on YouTube, so you can look up YouTube, TaylaAndre. It will appear about 15 minutes after we broadcast. For you that are on Facebook.
And actually,
what is this card?
It's a nationality card.
Meaning
this is before they had passports. That was your passport back then. That's what it was. There was no such thing as passports back at that time frame. So people don't even understand the history behind that. And actually, on the back of one of my nationality cards, it basically says Cherokee, but it's not called Cherokee. It's called the Anunowiai, the original name of what it is. We say Cherokee. Well, Europeans say Cherokee. Just like they may say a word because they couldn't pronounce a word. They can't pronounce certain things, like they mess up our names because they can't pronounce our names to this day.
That's called malapropisms. We learned that through mumbles.
Well, we all mumble. But anyway, but this is what Europeans have done. We don't know. Again, we think we know our history,
but we have no clue.
I'm looking at my brother over there with the ankle that everybody wears all the time. I'm like, you don't even know where that symbol's at. That symbol is right here, not over Africa. That symbol is here in Philadelphia. That right there is on a parkway in Philadelphia. That symbol is called Eakins Over in Philadelphia, where Rocky ran up the steps at in Philly. If you look at it from a sky view, you can actually see the Ankh. It is done by a brother, Abel Ill. People don't even understand the history. Everything is right there. It's yours. You don't even get it because you think you was a slave. Your history started in slavery. And I told them that book was plagiarized. Roots was plagiarized. They keep giving it to y'all over and over and over again. That's all you got to do is research it. Our history didn't start with that. We was here before these Europeans got here. I got that. I can project.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, our history started way before that. But again, how do you wipe people out? Through the book. Wipe them out through the book. Take them out. They're not going to read.
So most of the books that you mentioned were 18 something.
18. 1920s. Different books.
And this was the period where we were unable to read. It was illegal.
No, well, unable. I have a problem with that too.
Please school me.
When they say slaves couldn't read, and I ask, can you read music? No, I can't. Maybe some people can. I can't read music. So when they were saying that we couldn't read what they wrote down because they bastardized everything. I told you last week, Friday, matter of fact, we used to read from right to left. So how do you throw a person off balance? We have to read it in the opposite way. And even if I say in Islam they have the alphabet is called alif. If I say alif backwards, you're going to get filler. And P is nothing but the F. A P is an F. But if I say filler backwards, it's going to be alif lam lid. That's the alphabet of Arabic. So everything was always written from right to left. So now I'm going to throw you off balance by having you read the total opposite way. People don't even get it. That's why I said this is what they breeding in the colleges. They don't know nothing about language at all.
You make me wonder why there aren't universities that combat what it is that we're learning since.
Money.
So we don't have the money to open those schools?
We have money. We have money, but first of all, listen, you got to have courage. I use the storyline behind the Wizard of Oz, right? In the storyline behind Wizard of Oz, you know the story, right?
Yes.
Behind the Wizard of Oz,
mm-hmm.
You had the Tin Man, you had the Cowardly Lion, you had the Straw Man. Those three, the Toto, you add things up by totaling it up. Yellow Brick Road was gold. Understand the storyline. What were they looking for in the Wizard of Oz? Who didn't have the heart? The lion. He don't have the heart. We don't have the heart. So you first have to have the heart to actually do it. And actually, I think it was, who was saying something? I think it was it Minister Farrakhan? No, it wasn't Minister. Somebody was saying something about, no, I think it was the Ethiopia just there, about us looking at failure. When we failed the first time, we never want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have the courage to keep going. And we don't have that courage. That's why I always like to push people. I love to be in the background, just keep pushing them, say, okay, I'm going to back you. I got you. I know what's going on. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a vision too. So, okay, I'm going to keep pushing you to keep doing it. I'm going to show you everything that you need to empower you. We don't do it anymore. So if I had the money, and they used to have a saying in the Quran, I think it was in the Quran or Hadith, if I ain't mistaken. I don't want no Muslims to get mad at me. I ain't been in Islam in a minute. But they said the most hated man in the world is the one that has the Quran, the one that has the money, and the one that shares his knowledge. That's the most hated men in the world. So if I had the money, I would share it. I share my knowledge. This is what I do. A brother asked me the other day, well, what keeps you going to talk to people you don't even know, Sabir? I said, because I see we being lied to. You see what I'm saying? Like, I see these things happening. And I see attorneys, politicians are not telling our people this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, to fix the problem, you tell the people the truth. And I'm like, okay, it's not enough to do it. It's going back to Farrakhan again. Your enemy is not going to tell you this. Why? Because we don't know who our enemy is. So all the stuff that we're dealing with is emotionalism. So we'll point the blame game, white supremacy. That's what it is. They stopping me. No. Light penetrates darkness. That's just how it is. You are the light. There you go. Out of darkness. But if you are the light, then light penetrates darkness no matter what. It's like they say, Minister Farrakhan quoted one time, he said, what laser beam they can't get through? Saying, it's too rough, I can't get through. I remember he said that, I was like, he's right about that. What laser beam that say I can't get through? If we all came together, we can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I build with the Ethiopians. I'm going to build with other people saying, this is how we do it. But we have to come under one umbrella to make it happen. It can happen. But the problem is, Man, I got mine. You get yours, bruh. I got mine. You know, I went to Harvard. I know more than you. You know, if you did, then you would fix the problems. You follow me? You go back in the neighborhood. I just was telling Blaine, I want to go to New York just to get on the sub. I don't know. That's just me. You know, I don't have to, but I just want to ride the train. I want to be with the people so I can hear them, talk with them. We don't do that. We so out of touch with stuff with people. And when we so out of touch, we so into ourselves, it's crazy. And then the other side, I'm watching stuff like, oh my gosh, y'all not getting it, man. This European ain't worrying about you. He's not worrying about you at all. Not at all. You know, and even when you listen again to Farrakhan, I'm listening to this man. They put me through holy hell for me to get a passport, and it was Sabir under Sabir Bay. They put me through hell, and I thought about what Farrakhan said, what Elijah did, so you can have that name. Hell yeah, I'm gonna wear that joint proud, dude. What? Like here, you know? And I do it purposely. And I get in the airport and say, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Bay." They only say the Bay part. They never say Sabir. Thank you, Mr. Bay. Here you go. You know, get a passport back. You know, but I do it purposely, because Elijah was the one that gave us the right to do that. You see what I'm saying? That's what it was. And some people say it was Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, you can't forget Noble Drew Ali either, because those was the ones that brought it to us. Our people don't even know about them. They don't know about. They don't talk about.
And that's why that line wasn't out the door yesterday.
No, in Boston, we couldn't be out the door yesterday. It was too small. And then I was trying to hurry up and get in there, but trust me, I've been in many places. It was packed, but again, everybody was in church. That's what they was at, though. They was in church, really. They was praying to a false god. That's what was happening.
You done started something now.
They was giving their tithes. I'm a fire starter. So let the phones ring. You want to know the history? I'm a fire starter. I know how to put them out too. But it's real. It's like we're straight after guys that we know nothing of, man. We weren't Christians the way they say we were Christians. That's not Christianity. No, Jesus was a rebel. Really, he was a rebel. The one that y'all believe in, he was a rebel. So even the Bible is not even the real Bible. You can't when you're a critical thinker and an analytical thinker, you're gonna start researching stuff. I said I went to the Ethiopian church yesterday, and they said it's not a Catholic or Christian church or whatever. I was like, it's not that. I was like, okay, because I keep saying that. But when you open up a King James version, actually, the sister yesterday told me the King James version of the Bible is written by 3 Ethiopians, but after they learned English. I said, wow. I said, after, she said, they learned English. So that's his version. So the version that everybody's reading, open your Bible up. It's copywritten. You can't copyright God's words. The Qurans are not copywritten, but you can't copyright God's words. That means that that's someone else's work. It's like going to court. If I say, I'm going in there and they say, are you practicing law without a license? That's what they'll say, right? Because they ask, do you have a license? Why do they ask, do you have a license? Because you're using someone else's copyrights or cases and stuff like that. Those cases are basically like copyrights. You can't use them. So you didn't pay to the Bar Association for them. So how are you going to practice without a license? But you have a right to know the law. There's a difference. There is a way that you can deal with it. There's a term called impropria persona. Impropria persona means that you're in your proper person. That's what it is, not per se. So it's ways on how you deal with
that. Goes back to that diction. That goes back to that language.
And that's why Malcolm said no good diction. That's why he said that. Why did he say no good diction? Because you got to understand what language come in at, how it's played. So when you're dealing with juris and diction, juris means law and diction means speak. So you have diction and you understand the law. So again, remember I said you coming from right to left again.
Jurisdiction.
Juris, jury, all that is dealing with law. So when you have juris, or you may have somebody say, I'm a juris doctrine, I have a juris doctrine. That's what they are talking about. They're versed in the law. So when people are talking, they don't really get it. They don't understand. Language is very powerful tool. And people don't get that.
Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We have Sabir Bay in the building. We reached the top of the hour. How can we find you, Sabir? How can we find your book list? How can we get on your level, on your status? What box you check?
I don't know about. I don't have a level. I'm just me. Yeah, there is no level. Just do research. I mean, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google, whatever, IMDb, you name it, is on there. Everything is there. SABIRBEY.
One more time.
SABIRBEY. And I mean, the stuff is very simple, man. And, Malcolm said, make it plain. Make it plain for people. What they do in colleges is make it complicated for people. This stuff is not hard at all. It is so simple. You just gotta. It's like a computer. You gotta dump some things out. You ever see how the trash bin on? And I don't even know how to work a computer. I can tell you, I don't play chess. I play life's chess. I don't even know how to play chess, but I know that's a Moorish game. It's a history behind that too. I'm explaining that in real quick. You know how you have to dump stuff off of your computer? That's what you have to do up here. Dump the negativity out. Dump all it out and put good stuff in. We don't do that. It's like we put good gas in the car. We put garbage in our body. That makes sense to me. Like, I used to have that argument with my mom all the time. She said, don't you put no cheap gas in my car. And I used to argue with my mother and say, well, Mom, you put garbage in your body. Like, and she would cuss me out. And then she said, well, you can't take my car then. It's like, that's what it is. We make sure materialistic things are good instead of our mental. And that's why I said, dump all the garbage out. Dump it out and read some books. I mean, it's crazy. So
this is facts. These are truths. But in order we can find you, we can listen to you. You're on the radio as well.
Yep, in LA, but I won't be on this Friday. I'll be in Chi-Town. Heading to the Chi.
Do we have any pre-recorded? Do you have anything pre-recorded?
I think all the stuff is pre-recorded. All the stuff is up there. There's stuff on YouTube. But the stuff I actually did a replay of one of my shows last week because I wasn't in there. So we just
because you were here with us.
Yeah, I was here with y'all. No, but that was in the morning. I'm on 3 o'clock. What, 4:30 time?
You were still here in Boston.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I Skype in sometimes. My show, I can Skype in. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like I don't want to. I'm not. I don't feel like doing it no more. It's like I'd rather get other people involved. Like show them how.
Because you'd rather be on the subway talking to people.
I like to be out in the street, period. Talking to people. I don't care. We can be in Whole Foods and we have a conversation. I don't care where we be at.
So I want to give a huge shout out to Blaine. We have Blaine in the building, and without Blaine, we would not have Sabir Bay.
Nope, I wouldn't even be here today. I'm not even gonna lie.
So can we get a hello? Can we get a hello before we send our kids to you? Can we get a what's up?
Hi everyone.
She said that she was like,
Hi everybody.
Hey everyone, that's about it. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Shout out to ZC Boston, half price sushi on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Get your oysters, $1 oysters for the first dozen. And they have a 3-mile radius, free delivery. They have free parking, 2 hours for lunch, 3 hours for dinner, $10 bento box, 801 Mass Ave. Again, free parking. They're open until 2 a.m. They serve and deliver until 1 a.m. Face Natural, face with an S, natural with an S, beauty.com. Get all of your beauty products, your hair, your shampoo, your conditioner, your leave-in conditioner, your overnight mask, your face mask, something that you use as well that she sells, activated charcoal soap, activated charcoal teeth whitener, activated charcoal bath soap. She has everything. It isn't. I love it. I love it. And do not forget, please get your David Banner tickets immediately because you are going to miss out on the $25. And it's actually currently on Groupon too. So you can get your David Banner tickets off Groupon, or you can wait until the day of the event, July 23rd, where tickets are going to be more at the door. So I love and appreciate you. Hope you guys have an amazing day. We're going to end with The Dreamer featuring Talib Kweli. Don't stop now. Keep dreaming. Big City 101.3 FM.
DJ Sus won the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
It's gonna be Risk Club, right?
Yeah.
All right. Because all the books you mentioned, I'm about them down when I'm at work.
And now it's on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Here she is, that pretty lady.
Talking about you? Talking about you?
We're talking for Blaine. This is Jules. Say what up, Jules. Reggie B. Always.
That's your son?
No. I don't have no children, brother.
Oh, man. You say it like that. I don't have no children, brother. No, man. No, bro.
I mean,
I ain't got no children, brother.
Not yet.
It's a good thing. Just when they get older, they start to be pains.
Yeah, I gotta be careful though, because you can't have them with everybody.
No, you ain't lying about that one, brother. I got, I don't want to say regrets. My sons are not regrets. Their mothers are. Mothers are regrets.
Oh, man. So I hear that.
What's not whole food looking up?
you are addicted.
Yeah.
Something big.
Folks want to hear that.
Oh,
That's me, people.
yes.
I was thinking too, but that's what I was thinking too. When you first came in, when you first came in and you went into the waiting room over there, that's when I walked over and I was like, people, there's a seat here for you.
Oh, I didn't hear you at all.
He
was not recognizing
His brother was doing this. He was filming us.
Thank you.
Like they was sitting there doing this. Like I was trying to tell a dude, and he's standing there doing like this.
Yeah, I got a good
Yeah, you did. You
45 minutes.
I see it. You got it. But I don't think the system is like strict or like the brothers were. They stopped like 3 dudes. Over. They stopped 3 dudes over the court. Like, bro.
I don't. I'm learning. And this is not all of them.
And this right here, the some of you told me that's tripping me out.
Yeah,
that's tripping me out. I'm tripped out. That's tripping me out.
I know. So the one that Jules showed me, it was grainy, so I couldn't see the hands, but
that's tripping me out.
Crazy.
we used to put us going out on stage. You know exactly who we are. Like we used to be in Philly because it's on Spring Garden. The headquarters is on Spring Garden in Philly.
And then somebody talk about this right here. What is the name of that again?
Eakins Oval.
I'm gonna look at
Philadelphia. Eakins Oval. You can look up. It'll tell you the brother's name who designed it also. And people, they actually, it's a pyramid on the Art Museum. That's actually a pyramid where Rocky Man steps in. It's a flathead pyramid. We found a map and picture of the old park. I'll probably see the minister when I go to Chi-Town. I'm supposed to go to Mosque Marion.
he's leaving now.
Yeah, no. Dude, I had to get out of it. I didn't know what was going on yesterday. He be going, boy.
Yeah. He's 80-something years old, too.
Huh?
He's 80-something years old.
83.
Oh.
83 years old, man. I see Mustafa and them come up in the joint doing something right there for watching. Mustafa, he was the light skin one that was in the corner. He was like, Mustafa was right there, and the other one walked to the other side.
He watched me the whole time yesterday.
Oh.
You can even see it in the film. Like he watched me.
Mustafa?
The one that was up on stage in the corner.
That's my man Elijah Farrakhan's father.
Do you know? Hold on. One of those men looked like Muhammad Ali. He was off to the side. When I tell you he looked just like him, he looked like the spitting image.
This is Mustafa right there. That's Mustafa.
Yeah, that was the one that was staring at me.
Yeah, he the kid. Mustafa, I mean, he's Farrakhan went to the hospital. He said, "My father died. Everybody here died." And I said, "Damn, okay." He told the whole hospital that. Everybody in there. He said, "My father died. Everybody's dying in this hospital." It was a Jewish hospital. They don't play that with their father, man.